My mother, Manonmani, was born in 1951 to a Chinese family in Malacca, Malaysia. She was adopted by a Malaysian Indian family at birth, and growing up, many people assumed she was a fair-skinned Indian. Her adopted mother, Anggamah Naiker, was a Chetty housewife, while her father, Casirajah Govindasamy Pillai, was a hospital assistant. My mother was brought up as a Hindu and does not follow any Chinese customs or traditions. When my mom was younger, she resented her Chinese heritage and didn't want to speak about her heritage with anyone. In school, she used to be teased Anak Cina mata sepet, or Chinese child slit-eyes, and it used to bother her immensely. My mother had always known she was adopted, but it was only as an adult that she began to research more about her birth family. To her surprise, it was her birth Chinese sisters, Molly and Alice, who came looking for her when she turned 27 years old. Today, she had made peace with it all, and her Chinese siblings meet with her whenever they can to make up for lost times. My mom went to Sultan Ibrahim Teachers Training College in Johor Bahru, and it was here that she first met my dad, who was also in the college. Although she had a few Chinese guys who admired her, she used to tell them that she was already interested in my dad, an Indian man. Eventually, they were paired up in a college function, and as they say, the rest is history. I was born in 1979 and grew up in 3 cities in Malaysia, Cha'ar, Kuantan and Shah Alam. As my hometown was small, almost everyone knew my parents. They were teachers. Unlike other Chindians, I did not encounter any identity issues when I was growing up. By this time, there were more of us, and most people were just used to seeing us in our small town. In 2013, I moved to Australia with my husband Vijay. He applied for a job transfer, and when it was approved, we uprooted our lives in Malaysia and ended up settling in Strathfield. A few months after, I scored an interview for an accounting job in the city. The company dealt with jewels and belonged to an Indian couple from India. As a Hindu, I never thought about the bindi, a red dot worn by Hindus on my forehead, or that people might regard it differently, so I didn't think it would be an issue, especially for other Indian persons. Much to my surprise, the owner made a disappointing comment to me. "Next time you come for an interview in Australia, you should take off your bindi," she said. Needless to say, I voiced my disagreement to them and went on my way. Being a new migrant, there were a few cultural differences that took me a while to get used to. For starters, I didn't realize how multicultural Australia was, in particular the area that we settled in. We enjoyed getting to know the many cultural places of worship and ethnic food that we were never exposed to in Malaysia. Another thing that surprised me was how Asians and Westerns have different parenting ways. To my surprise, a colleague at work mentioned that she was looking forward to seeing her son move out when he is 18 years old. In Malaysia, that rarely ever happens, and it was a common sight to see young people live with their parents until they were married. At work, I had to get used to the Aussie lingo and refrain from using my Malaysian lingo with my work colleagues. It is all a process of adapting to a new culture, but I am teaching my colleagues on how to speak like a Malaysian too. Today, technology has made a big difference in keeping in touch with my family. Despite the distance, I make it a point to call my parents every day. So much so that I don't feel that they're too far away from me. Most people are surprised I speak to my family that much. I tell them I don't want any regrets, and it's reassuring for me to hear their voices and knowing they are well.